What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Dick. We're back in the shop here, enjoying like kind of a hot summer night. It's definitely turned up here in Tucson with the heat. I know it's been a little bit, and I want to say thank you to those of you that hit me up. A good chunk of people were kind of like worried about me. Number one, two, are you quitting YouTube? What's the deal? This isn't like my main source of income or anything. I really enjoy making videos. And sometimes it's kind of cyclical for me, or I get so busy where it just turns into more of a back burner thing because I do put a lot into some of the videos that I put up are, a lot of time, a lot of effort. Not to say, I'm cool with it, but, it gets difficult when, we're trying to get the house back together for the daughter that's coming very soon. Very happy about that. Katie's healthy. Everything's going fine. All good things. That's the best news I have for you is I've been busy, but it's all good things. So right now I'm going to flip around. I'm going to kind of walk you around the shop, show you what's up. I'm going to show you inside our house. I'm going to show you some before and after pictures. We've been working on it like crazy. Katie and I both want to show it to you guys because we think it's really cool. And it's a part of life. And this is mainly what my channel is about. I'm not a TV host. I'm not any of that stuff, right? I'm just a dude in a shop showing you what I get into. And that's kind of what I've always wanted this to be. So thanks again for your guys' support. Let's flip this around. This is a really cool car. It's a friend of mine's that I've been working on. And don't mind the mess. I'm going to say that like 30 more times, but here we go. 2 Mustang hatchback, and it's got a little Vortex supercharger on it, V1. And this is just temporary. Don't judge or do. That's all good. It's got a nice set of AFR heads on it, and it's actually getting a Holley EFI upgrade to the Terminator. So we're very excited about that. This is going to be my first install of Holley stuff. I've had stuff on the shelf for years now. That feels terrible. Yeah, so it's been on the shelf for a while. But this is pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. I really like this Holley stuff so far, and I haven't even fired it up. It's got a nice aftermarket intake, and it is a 5-speed. Got super clean interior. The seat is out right now. There's the Terminator X bracket. It runs up under the seat, under the carpet, sorry, and then it mounts up under the seat. And then under this seat, I mounted the MSD 6AL box. We're still using that. It's going to be the 6AL, and then this is a CD, capacitive discharge type coil. I think it's an XL. That should work really good. I hope to finish this up within this week. It honestly, I wouldn't say would take more than a few days to get that whole job done in reality. But it's been sporadic, and I mean well, but my buddy is being super chill about it, and I really appreciate that because he understands what I'm going through. He actually did a way more in-depth renovation of his house when his wife was pregnant. It's really funny to see how many folks went through a similar time in their life. So now I'm going to flip around and show you one of the 2 trucks that I got. I don't know how I'm cutting this up because I have some other footage, but here we go. Here's the Grandpa or Ray's truck. So here we are. I have the grill off of it right now, but this is a 76 long bed Sierra Grande 25, and it has a 400, and it is a 4x4. So I've been told that's kind of cool, a little a special. The one thing that is slightly bummer about this is it's had some pretty bad pack rat issues, so I'm going through and trying to alleviate that and make it as safe as I can for the next guy. This truck was really cool because it sat for the longest time. A friend of mine turned me onto it. Thank you, Sammy, if you're watching this. Really just wanted it to get saved, just like the owner's wife. She had this truck and the other one that I'm going to show you at her house, and unfortunately her husband and her brother-in-law passed away. But the cool part of the story is that both of these trucks were bought new in Tucson, and they wheeled these things around for years, camping and doing whatever they did. I think they were fishers and stuff like that. That's awesome. Fishermen, I don't know what you call it, but anyways, they just used these trucks, and she was like, you know what, no more. These things need to get used again. They would not want them to be sitting here dying. So that is super rad. I really like when stuff's been bought in my hometown and stayed here. It's like as I get older, I'm a little bit more proud and excited about things of where I came from and the history that's come. The short bed, I have some video of it coming out of its resting spot where it basically buried itself. where she lived had very soft sand, and what'll happen here, just like I'm sure would happen anywhere else, is that rain. We have these crazy monsoons who have they come with a bunch of water, bunches of water, and it would just sink the truck over the years. You know, soften it up, truck would sink, harden up, sink, etc., etc. So that truck was kind of interesting to get out of the backyard, to say the least. Took me a lot of time, but I really like the short bed a lot. I love the long bed too. It's just, I don't know, the short bed has like a little sticker on the back that said like Tucson or Matthews. I think it was Matthews Chevrolet of Tucson. It was an older dealership here that's not any longer. So just kind of little cool things like that. It was very awesome to be a part of it. So thanks again to my friend Sammy for letting me be a part of this. That was very rad. So the next thing we need to talk about is Charlotte is in here, and we were gonna make a run for LS Fest West. It's just been crazy, right? Like, that's the best way to describe this. So we started getting into it. Katie was like, go for it. And I thought I had enough bandwidth to even try. And to be honest, I just didn't. Even if LS Fest would have happened, I just couldn't have made this truck happen because I just had other priorities. And I think that's becoming more apparent to me that, you know, right now in this specific point in time in my life, I needed to focus on the things that I've been focusing on. So I'm okay with it. I'm excited about it. Like I said before, they're all good, happy things. And I've always wanted car stuff to be the fruitful part of my life. You know, maybe even if it becomes more of part of my income, etc., I'm cool with that. But I'm not going to push myself to the point where I am burnt out or I'm not having any fun. So fun first, and make sure that it is, you know, some days are work, but overall, I'm not going to beat myself to the point where I don't like them anymore. I'm going to flip around and show you the progress. I have basically none on Charlotte, but we do have a pile of parts sitting next to it. I thought maybe if I put the parts close to it, it would just build itself. But I've come to find out that didn't happen. I don't know. I'm going to have to make a complaint or write a letter to somebody because I figured it would have been done by now. So basically, me and my friend Jerry, thanks Jerry, both, I would say, quite capable mechanics, just fought getting this rear out one night. Just laughing our asses off the whole night. Charlotte was just pissed. She was like, dude, you know how many freaking vehicles I've seen you build since you bought me, and now you want to play with me? So yeah, we got the rear out. It has actually not made it very far. This is like the saddest update video. So the rear is super clean inside-ish, except for over on the, James, I could hear you yelling at the screen. Okay, it's clean in this area. I still need to clean the tube ends, and then I'm actually going to use muriatic acid on the outside just to try to get really spot-free clean. That thing I'm joking about is that James requires the rear end. He really wants my rear end clean. He says if your rear end is not clean, he's not touching it. And I just really want him to touch it. So I'm going to try to get it as clean as I possibly can. Moving on from that terrible joke, there is a pile of parts here, and it is getting good. I'm going to be honest. We have the core shifter that actually goes into the inspection cover. If you watch that video when we modify the transmission, we have that as well as the original shifter plate cover. So we finally pulled the trigger on that. That is here. This is a 5.3 that I ended up deciding to put into it. The 5.3 that you maybe remember sitting in this area for the longest time is actually this motor with a CTS V-pan I had laying around, a JFR 218 cam, I believe, and then just the springs are from Katie's motor, which are just the single beehives. I think they were trick flows or something like that. I had Katie do a little bit of art on the cap because that's just, I'm still a child, so that stuff's funny to me. I got a bunch of parts from McHugh's, from those guys. I'm talking like these are all just parts for the C10, all kinds of crap. We have everything I think we need to build it except for like time. So that's not frustrating at all. The 6-liter that was in this thing set in here with the Turbo 400 is sold. I couldn't justify using the motor just because it was worth more than it was to me, if that makes sense. It was worth more to everybody else than it was to me. Where I have a motor sitting here that I'm going to put a turbo on, Oh, by the way, we're gonna turbo it. And it just made more sense for me to dump the 6.0. I wouldn't even say dump. I actually turned it on to a guy, became friends with him. He's cool. Thanks to Ray, my buddy, for hooking up that deal. I think it really helped kind of both of us, so that's cool. It was too nice and probably made more power than I needed NA because I'm, like I said, gonna turbo it. So everybody's happy, everybody wins there. I have a little bit of time lapse of me doing that motor, but it's probably not valid or worth anything now. Maybe I'll throw it in to the C10 build video that we'll get to at some point in the future-ish. Off of Amazon. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I haven't tried it yet. Michael Page turned me on to it. I think it's pretty rad for the money. It's not perfect, but it is fairly cheap. Yeah, a lot of people make them nowadays. There's a lot of options you have with manifolds. I'm gonna give it a shot. I think it was like 299 bucks, and I don't know, why not? This truck really does not need to make that much power, which brings me to my next point. This is a stock clutch, and I'm going to ruin that. So just, that's how it goes. Went ahead and got the flywheel resurfaced. And then what else is here? There's like other stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We got a line lock, because we're going to do a line lock, all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to bore you with too many details. I probably already did. I believe I've said it before, but for those of you that are wondering, the truck will still be a static suspension truck, and I'm going to put a wood bed floor back in it. I thought there wasn't a purpose for this truck, but I've realized that the purpose for this truck is when I don't want to hop in my Duramax and drive it all over the place to just get a motor or this or that, I have my C10 to go beat the dog shit out of and drive around. So, I mean, does it really have a purpose? Probably not, but, overall, as a car guy, I feel like there's a justifiable purpose. Sometimes you have your big truck loaded down with stuff too, though, right? It's hooked up to the trailer or whatever, and you need to go grab something. Well, now you got the little putt-putt truck to go, burn the clutch up or whatever. That's what I'll probably do. So last but not least, some of you may check out at this point, but hopefully you don't, because this was a lot of work, a lot of money. But I'm gonna flip around here. We're walking into the house. I'm gonna show you our kitchen. There she is, playing video games. So floor is pretty much done. We just need to do the baseboards and all that stuff. And by we, I mean my friend Billy is gonna put those in. We ended up painting the brick over here, and we're gonna do something with like this chunk here, but I think that looks kind of rad. This stuff is somewhat temporary. We still have some things to get done, but the big thing is here. I have some pictures, but not a lot, and what I want to explain to you is this was a full wall here, and then right here was also a full wall. So this was very compartmentalized, like kind of 70s, 80s, that was very popular. So we went with like a wraparound bar top. This is like some granite from a local place. And then I made some brackets that they call corbels. I'm gonna call it a bracket. Made those, which was pretty rad. And then I had help from so many people, but one of the biggest ones was our friend Mike, who helped fix all the soffits that were crooked, helped me frame and drywall all this. And by help, I mean he pretty much did all of it and I was standing there. And then inside here, we added a couple cabinets, painted them. Had them painted. I like to be very proper with that verbiage. And new sink, new faucet, things like that. So I mean, it's just been freaking crazy. Overall, we are super pumped. This is one kind of cool idea that came up, and then we formed it. I think it was was it initially both our ideas, Katie? Somewhat. And then I had the odd idea to not put a door on this, because the space is really weird. And when I came up with that idea, that's when Katie and I just kind of kept bumping off each other. And we ended up with this, which is just more cabinet space. And we're also gonna put like a piece of butcher block. And by we, I mean Harry, our friend. You see how this goes. So there'll be like a piece of butcher block here that kind of finishes it off into like almost another little coffee bar, cool area thing. And then maybe like the recycling bin will go in and out there. So the main cool thing here is Harry put in pocket doors for our laundry room and for our little pantry. He's just an animal. Wondering who Harry is. Harry is Marcella's husband. Marcella is the amazing person who did all my tattoos, and then I worked on our Falcon a while back. So it's pretty cool how things like that just continually go round and round. So I'll be working on his truck for some trade out work. Very cool, love it. I guess I'll mention is this pantry was actually just a silly closet. I was gonna say stupid, but I would say more silly than stupid. They had the return from the AC go into this closet, and that was all that was in there. It used to be probably like hot water heater or something, but they just filled it all full of ducting and probably just had a huge bill from some AC company back in the day, which was kind of crazy. And another family friend just totally helped out big time, helped me throw this thing in here, and we just ran the ducting around to this. So now that's our return. It's not too bad. It's pretty quiet. The only thing is, like Katie says, everything smells like French fries whenever I make French fries, which I don't see the bad in that, but that's okay. So one last thing, Miles trying out Austin's room here. Katie and Michelle just kicked butt on getting this thing ready to go. And then the painters did like this cool thing that Katie came up with. So it's just looking awesome. Got the little monitor thing set up, changing tables. We're super pumped. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I don't even know exactly what I put into it, but mostly just wanna say thank you guys for being you. Hopefully everybody's doing okay in the world that we're living in right now and all the chaos. I just want to send out some love, some positivity, and hopefully take you guys away for a little while and show you what I've been up to. So we'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.